If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the. If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the daily.
Welcome to the Slightlee Daily Podcast. It's just me, Solo Dolo, Tuesday at 8:50 p.m. Episode number 83, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. I just want to kind of make this is definitely, without a doubt, 100%, definitely the last podcast that I'm going to be doing solo in 2020. I kind of want to I don't really know. Just kind of want to just talk for 30 minutes. We'll see how this goes for the real podcast fans out there. Whoops. For the real podcast fans out there, real fans of the show, you know that my solo episodes. Hold on. Actually, this is episode number 84. Episode 84. This is not 83. This is 84. By the way. Whoops. I wanted to just come and just kind of talk a little bit about some current events, sports stuff, current events, music stuff, a little bit, touch on that, but the majority, the bulk of this episode is going to be about, am I recording? Yeah. I don't know, just 2020, whatever comes to mind, whatever comes across my mind. Like I said, let's go ahead and just touch on the sports thing. It's December 29th. I'm going to have this out tomorrow, Wednesday the 30th. For sure, 100% facts. I have nothing to do. But I want to talk about the college football playoff. And then I'm going to talk about the NFL playoffs and the Titans. For you guys who don't know, Sunday for the Titans is a crucial day. But anyway, so January 1st, the college football playoff. Let me see if I can pull up the actual times that okay. The 2020 playoff. It's just been a weird year. I mean, I don't know, it's so cliche to say, but it is very true. Hold on. Okay. Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl. Okay. So, the SEC played a 10 game season. The Notre Dame played in the ACC. For those who don't know, they're independent. They don't have a conference. The Notre Dame played an ACC schedule. I think they played, 8 games? Did they end up playing 10? I think. Hold on, man. The collegefootballplayoff.com website sucks. I'm just trying to look at schedules I'm literally just trying to look at records. Hold on, man. Forgive me. Jesus. Should not have been that hard. Anyway, I'm not even going to cut out that awkward pause. Okay. So those who don't know, number 1, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame, respectively. Okay. Alabama 11-0, without a doubt, 100,000 million%, duh. They should be number 1. They should be in the playoff, and they're probably going to win the national championship. Clemson at 10-1 at number 2. Dude, this mic stand sucks. Whatever. Clemson's only loss is to Notre Dame, who I'll get to them. Ohio State. See, this is what I'm getting at. This is my first point with just how weird this season has been. Ohio State is 6-0. 6-0. They have played 6 games this year. They won them all. Don't get me wrong. 6-0 is still impressive in a Big Ten schedule, in a Power 5 schedule. But 6-0, is that better than Texas A&M at 8-1? I mean, it's like I said at the beginning of the season. I mean, I know at least I might not have said it on record necessarily, but it's just I knew Ohio State, if they found a way to be undefeated, which they are, I knew they were going to find a way to squeak in. The committee was just going to make them. The whole reason that the Big Ten even played was so that Ohio State could get in the playoff. And number 4, Notre Dame, 10-1, whose only loss is to Clemson in the ACC championship game. So let's just look at the matchups. Okay, first game, January 1st, the Rose Bowl. I think that the Rose Bowl is played first. Dude, what the heck, man? What time is the Rose Bowl? 3 p.m. And then what time is the Sugar Bowl? Man, I could really use an assistant. 2021. So I also did have some questions as well. Okay. That I'll get to. First off, first game, the Alabama Crimson Tide at 11-0 versus the number 4 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who played an ACC schedule this year at 10-1. Their only losses to a Clemson team who was in the playoff. Let me ask you guys this. Who do you think deserves to be in the playoff based off of resume? You have Notre Dame at 10-1. Okay. With a very impressive resume. Won all their games except one. Made it to the ACC championship. And then lost to a team that they had beaten before. They split with Clemson. Texas A&M at number 5 had one loss against Alabama, who was the number 1 team in the nation. So let me ask you this. At the 4 spot, who do you think should have got in? Notre Dame with one loss or Texas A&M with one loss? Now, Texas A&M did play 9 games this year. They didn't play in the SEC championship game, and I think one of them got postponed. So maybe that's the argument for why that the committee didn't choose to have them in. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe just that one game. Oh, because technically looking in the standings, Notre Dame has them beat by 0.5, by half a game. So maybe that's what put them over the edge, was the fact that one of Texas A&M's games got canceled. Personally, who do I think the better team is, though, is I really do think that Texas A&M would beat Notre Dame in a head-to-head game. But you look at resumes, and it's really hard to match up. So, I mean, man, at the end of the day, the college football playoff has some work to do. Like that one year, I think it was 2018, where Penn State had one loss, I think, and they finished 5th. Austin, hey Andrew, what's up, bro? Look, I got 3 people in here. Right? Hey, Andrew, I love you too, bro. Hit me. Let's talk sometime. But for all my football people in the comments, honest to God, at the 4 spot in the college football playoff, Notre Dame or Texas A&M, who would win in the head-to-head matchup? Now, the resume, I mean, it's already been decided. Notre Dame is the number 4 team. It's happening. The Rose Bowl is happening at 3 p.m. on New Year's Day. Alabama and Notre Dame are playing again. And we all know how that the national championship went when Notre Dame and Alabama played. I mean, Alabama absolutely destroyed them. And honestly, if we really get down to it, if we really, really get down to it, it doesn't matter who the number 4 is. It doesn't matter who's number 5. I really think Alabama is going to win every game by 20 plus points. So yeah, I think really what it is just the flaw of them picking only 4 teams for the playoff. I think they could definitely get away with extending it to 8 or 16. I think I've seen a 16 team proposal. I think it would add, how many games would that add in the season? Maybe 3 more games or something like that. So maybe you would want to cut a regular season game or 2, possibly, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, let's look at the Sugar Bowl. Number 2, Clemson 10-1, Ohio State 6-0. I think this will be a better game. I think if Trevor Lawrence actually plays, I don't know. Ohio State has a good team. Ohio State has a really good offense. They have a hometown kid, Master Teague from Blackman, who's a running back on that team. I just don't think that I think Ohio State is a great team, but I don't. They've only played 6 games this season, and I don't think that they've played together enough to be what they could have been if they would have played an 11 or 12 game season, or a regular 13 to 14 game season. I don't see them having like the experience. I want to say, I don't want to say experience because I know Justin Fields is experienced, but as a team, as a unit, you just check your watch, LOL. Look, as a unit, as Ohio State as a unit, they don't have experience as the 2020 Ohio State Buckeyes football team. So I think that I think it's going to be Alabama and Clemson again in the national championship. I think if anybody could beat Alabama, it is Clemson, obviously, but I don't see it happening this year. So yeah, I'm going to move on to NFL briefly. So literally, the Titans, if you win, you're in. If you lose, you can also still make the playoffs, but a whole lot of things have to happen. The Colts have to lose. The Browns have to lose. Who else? Maybe the Ravens have to lose. Who else is in contention for the wild card? Yeah. So look, the Titans. We started the season 5-0 or 5-1. Since then, I heard this on the radio, and I honestly couldn't believe it, but it makes sense because we've had a lot of stupid losses, like the Bengals, like what? The Jaguars. I think the Jaguars only win this season. So we play Houston, who has a terrible. They've played awful, absolutely terrible this year. They're not a good football team, but the way the Titans have played, it wouldn't. I mean, I'm not going to say that it would surprise me. I'm not going to say that we're going to go out there and play like we did last week against Green Bay. I don't know what the fuck happened with Green Bay. I have no idea. That game was over from the very start, and it's hard to explain, but it was. After that first quarter, we were done. Like it was not a pretty game. I was excited for it because I thought, okay, look, the way we played against Baltimore, and who else did we play non-conference? I mean, even that Colts game, the one we played at home, that was like, oh, okay, that was a big statement game. That Baltimore game was our biggest statement game of the season, though, and I thought, okay, maybe if we can go into Green Bay and do what we did to Baltimore, man, that's a statement game right there. We don't have to play like our season is on the line last game of the year. So I mean, we don't want to have to rely on. Look, it's if we do end up losing against Houston, like I said, the Colts have to lose. There's a whole lot of conditional things to happen, and first of all, you just don't want that. You don't want to be in that situation anyway, where you're worrying about other teams have to do this and such has to beat somebody. If you have a chance to control your own destiny, that's the situation that you want to be in. You want to be in that situation. Win and you're in the playoff. No, not even just you're in the playoffs. You win the AFC South and you get to host a playoff game. We haven't done that in 12 years, literally, since 2008, I think is the last time we won the AFC South. So, and I'm pretty sure that it is a home game. Let me look it up. Let's see. I think it is. No, it's not a home game. So we play at Houston. If you guys don't know, Houston was the game. We went into overtime. Houston, let's be honest, Houston, they played like crap this year. They're 4-11. I mean, they have Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is, I mean, don't shoot me here, but top 10 quarterback in the league. I mean, let's be honest. When he's healthy, in any given day, he can perform top 10 quarterback in the league. He's dangerous. And what is the Titans' biggest weak spot this year? The defense. I'm just saying, if this was the game, if this was a game that we choked away and we played like we did against the Bengals and the Jaguars, it's not looking pretty. And honestly, I don't even know who the Colts play. Let's see. Colts play the Jaguars. So, I mean, it's not looking good. And then let's see who the Browns play. Browns play the Steelers. Browns play the Steelers, and then the Ravens play the Bengals. And I think it's crazy how this stuff is all coming full circle. We're either fighting. Look, we could potentially. It's just crazy because this game, Sunday, could either go, we win, we're in the playoffs, and we host the playoff game, we win the division, or we lose, and we're potentially out of the playoffs at 10-6. I say if we don't win this game, then there's no shot. Yeah, defense has to show up somehow. I mean, I don't know if a lot of you know this, but just from listening to 104.5 and the radio and stuff, the Titans technically don't have like a defensive coordinator named. They're literally just winging it this year, and you can tell. You literally can tell. And it's sad the way the defense has played all year. Week 1, we win 16-14 against the Denver Broncos. We knew coming in that the Denver Broncos are terrible. And I mean, honestly, in that game, giving up 14 points isn't terrible. But I mean, the offense didn't show up. We just didn't put it together, and they still won. And then we had a lot of special teams things. So I think, honestly, if I don't know, you never know. I think that they can. I mean, they beat them once. We beat Houston once already, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and address the questions that were given. I don't have any screenshots, but I remember them for the most part. So I know that. My brother Kobe and Hope asked me in the Instagram question thing, what are my plans? What are my plans for 2020, or 2021? Like, and honestly, I mean, I've definitely thought about it, but I don't know. Nothing really too much different than what I've been doing as far as just like creative stuff. I'm not comfortable right now. As far as I mean, the podcast ain't going nowhere. YouTube stuff ain't going nowhere. 2021, I'm just gonna try and focus more on the business side of this stuff. I want to try and make more moves outside of the creation stuff. I want to focus more on the marketing and like the marketing and advertising perspective of this thing, because like obviously as you guys see, I mean, I hit it real hard this year. I went stupid. I went stupid dummy. Like I said at the beginning, I mean, I'm at episode 85 now. Shit. 82 of those were this year. There's 52 weeks in a year. So, I mean, you do the math. It's about 1.5 every week, at least at the bare minimum. I did at least one, sometimes 2, 3. I think the most I ever did in 1 week was 4. I know it was like probably in the 20s. That was a crazy weekend. Literally, I remember that weekend that I did it. It was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think it was 3 in 1 week. I'm not trying to exaggerate. I literally think I did Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday night, Saturday night, and then maybe Sunday during the day. Well, it took me like a whole a whole week to get them all out. Like I didn't put out the one I did Sunday until like I think the next Sunday. Plans for 2021 though. I don't know. I'm really trying to think. I really just want to focus more on just trying to move smarter. As far as I want to move smarter and position myself, put myself in better situations and positions to make everything I do count more, make everything I do have more impact to it. So instead of me, and look, and I want to say this too, it isn't about the views, but it is in the aspect for what I want from this. I don't want to be the most famous podcaster in the world. I want to make an honest living off of this type of stuff. And from a business perspective, you can't do that unless you are showing growth in your brand. I mean, honestly, and that might be month to month or day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. And I can honestly say that slowly but surely, I've been seeing that in some way. It might not be the most drastic and exaggerated growth, but I mean, you look at this time last year, so we're looking at New Year's Day 2019 going into 2020, I had 3 podcast episodes, 10 vlogs, something like that. You know, a lot of music out. But as far as Slightly Daily, it was mostly just my blog, which is not like, that's still a lot of work. I still had 100 or so blog posts on there, but like, I want to just create, I mean, my dream and vision with Slightly Daily as a brand I want to create my own spin on like a media conglomeration, a media company. But I don't want to say like media company because it that term means something totally different in this day and age that we live in the last 5 to 8 years. The internet has changed a whole lot. We don't need MTV, and I know I went on this rabbit hole before, but like I really want to reiterate it because we don't need MTV and VH1 and Entertainment News and stuff. Like we don't need networks. We can create our own networks via the internet, via our YouTube channels and whatnot. So like, I mean, and prime examples of this is somebody like a Joe Rogan, or I mean, as cringy as it is, like someone like a Logan Paul, 2020 Logan Paul. I mean, yes, he has his controversies and stuff, but I mean, you look at what he's doing now. I mean, his antics outside of his. All right, let's just look at his content creation. He has one of the biggest podcasts, one of the biggest YouTube channels, and he's employed like a whole team of people to work for him and with him. And he's just one single person. And I want to create I don't know. It's hard to even explain. I mean, there's a few people that I could compare myself to as far as Slightly Daily as a brand, but in 2021 I'm trying to create more. I'm trying to put myself in better positions to grow more so that I can get to where I want in 2022 and so on and so forth. If you look at now, today, Austin, and a year ago, Austin, I've grown so much as far as this. 85 episodes have happened, and I've met and I have met most 90% of my guests, and I know that I'm just saying a random statistic, but 90% of my guests were people that I didn't personally know. And I know that sounds insane, but the majority, and I wouldn't have never met them without me having cameras and microphones and calling it a podcast. So definitely more of that. Yes. So that is the answer to the what am I gonna do? I had that question answered or asked to me 2 times. What am I gonna do? What are my plans for 2021? And the other question, which is kind of completely off topic, it has nothing to do with this, but it was, what are my top 3 favorite American Horror Story seasons? Let me do a quick Google search so I can pull them all up. Okay. My top 3 in no particular order. Okay. Definitely Hotel is in there. 100%. This is Bravo, by the way. Bra_vo. Definitely Cult. So Hotel, Cult, and probably Murder House. Hotel, Cult, and probably Murder House. Those are my top 3 favorite American Horror Story seasons. The final question I got was, let me pull up the exact. The final question was a Twitter question from Marlena's friend Julie, what made you decide to get into podcasting, like the exact process and moment. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've told this story a whole bunch. I'll try and specifically hone it into podcasting, like specifically because I mean, there's like a huge kind of like backstory to it, which I've said a whole crap ton of times. But podcasting, I just was consuming podcasts so much, and I was consuming a lot of podcasts like from No Jumper and Joe Rogan, Ben Baller podcast, and I don't know. I just wanted to. I saw specifically with the No Jumper thing. He's probably like Adam 22 and No Jumper. Probably. I mean, he's definitely my biggest inspiration for when I interview artists. The Joe Rogan thing. The Joe Rogan aspect of it was I knew that my friends were into like we have these conversations that Joe Rogan has. We have these conversations on a regular basis. And I knew that I had the smallest kind of knowledge, I guess, of it. And I knew that it was something that I could do, or at least I could try if I put in some effort and learned how to do this stuff. I know I just wanted to, I mean, all right, if you go back and look at my vlogs and stuff from two-ish years ago, 2.5 years ago, it was, I looked at it from like I looked at it from like a visionary perspective. I looked at it as a sort of a time capsule to where, look, my friends still to this day in 2020, the vlogs I did for 2018, they still don't understand like why I did it, or appreciate it, honestly, like at all. And I created it so that when we're fucking 32 or when we're 30, with whenever we're 30 and everyone has moved away, which a lot of people have. Like specifically the Bonnaroo vlog, 3 of those people don't even live here anymore. And I wanted to create a way to where I could capture these moments and put them into something that we all can reconnect to, so that we could place ourselves back into the moments. So what I'm getting at is that's the exact same shit that I'm trying to do with the podcast. I mean, even 6 to 9 to 12 months ago, a whole year ago, the conversations that I've captured on camera are incredible, and they're timeless. Like, you can go back and watch them now. We might be talking about something super time sensitive about, what did you do this summer? Well, here we are, it's winter now. But like, you can still, once you get past that, there's still little nuggets of interesting stuff. So specifically, that's why I created the podcast, was to kind of, create a platform for other artists, which I've said 1,045 million times. But that, and also to create a place where people's conversations can live on forever, and you can always go back to them, and to create a place where people can consume like real conversations from real people, and it's not this superficial stuff that you hear on Breakfast Club or like all these hip hop radio stations and stuff. Yeah, so I'm gonna end this thing. This episode is whatever. It's gonna get like 20 views, which is great and wonderful, and I appreciate all the 20 views. But for some reason, the solo ones, they just don't. I mean, I understand, because they don't have a guest, but they don't perform as well. But I just wanted to come on here and create a kind of wrap up video, give you a little bit of current events with the football, but also kind of just wrap up 2020. I hope that even through all this bull crap that went on, all the shit, I still hope you found a way to grow in some way. I hope you found a way to create memories in some way, because I know personally I have. I've grown a lot this year. I didn't let 2020 stunt my growth. And don't let the next year stunt your growth. Grow every year, every day. And I'm not trying to sit here and be some motivational speaker, but yeah. Thank you for watching. This is episode 85. I'm going to be filming one tomorrow as well. So there's going to definitely be 2 episodes before the end of 2020. Look out for that. Go watch my YouTube videos. Yes. Thank you guys.